Hello, this is Chad Peppers, and this is a demo of my submission for the 2026 Drupalcon Hackathon. We're submitting this under the team of the Littler Mendelsohn group, and I am going to give a quick demo because I think it will be beneficial to understand kind of the vision behind this. So I am doing this kind of on the fly. There's going to be maybe some mistakes and stuff, but I'm going to try to get the point across and understand it. So the idea is that using the MCP module, I want to connect a MCP able application to be able to talk to Drupal. Now, normally the MCP server is used for developers to be able to do various things. But the thought is that we flip the script and we make the MCP an editor experience. So the module here is Drupal, and there's a lot of people that put a lot of hard work into this, and it's kind of in the development phase, I think. Only one side is reported using this, but this is what I use to build this, and so the proof of concept works, and it's there. So I'm pretty excited about that. So the MCP tool, the idea is that we're exposing tools for editors in an MCP. Now AI Drupal is the governance, so it all the tools are permission based, and you're only allowed to run certain tools based off of your user. So again, the idea is that the big idea is that what I'm going to demo here is using Claude Cowork to as an editor locally or a writer, and be able to kind of use the AI tools, the Opus, the all that locally, local context, local files, ideas, and all that stuff, and then push stuff to Drupal, but also have it permission based, so you're not able to just publish things on the fly. You would go through a workflow process and all that. And so to demo that, I created a fictitious website called the Prompt Post, and it's a fictitious, like the Onion type thing, but for AI. And so if you could put yourself in the future where AI is robots are AGI or whatever, and they're reading articles just like humans do, and so you have different sections. So here's the front page: news, opinion, jobs, and then there's even a puzzle for like Sudoku. And so this is so the idea is that we're going to use Claude and remember any MCP enabled tool could technically do this to then manage the editorial experience of the site. And so this is a single page app. Um, and this is actually live. You can see it at the promptpost.chadpeppers.dev. And then the back end is powered by Drupal, Drupalcon 2026.chadpeppers.dev. So there's not much to show here in Drupal, except that we have the MCP module enabled, and then there's a bunch of custom modules that I created around this, and it's using the tool API. So the idea is that we're exposing the MCP tools that we create to then allow that local editing experience to happen. And so we have just, the normal articles, basic page, jobs, listings, and that kind of thing. So that is kind of how the site is set up. And then, okay, we're going to move over to the actual content editing experience. Okay, so the idea, so actually I forgot, let me show you how you would set this up. So I'm not going to set it up from scratch because this is a demo, and you know how a demo is, things are going to start breaking, but I'm going to show you how I would set it up. So again, Drupal is the MCP server's exposed, it's out there, but you have to authenticate it. We're not letting just anybody write articles for the prompt post. So the way that works, I installed a Claude desktop locally here, and you have to connect to the MCP server. And you can do this through the Claude Code CLI. This could be done with Cursor, theoretically. This could be done with ChatGPT, I think, on the web. The desktop doesn't support it yet, but any MCP-enabled tool. You could even make your own custom one as well. So go to settings, and then you click on connectors. Now I have it connected already. It's called the prompt post, and I'm posting the putting the URL in here. So what you would do is just add a custom connector, put a name, and the tool. And so what happens, that immediately exposes the MCP, and Claude automatically knows it. Now when you start prompting, you can prompt in a chat or a cowork. And if it's not authenticated, it will pop up something. And what you will do is you click on it, and it's just like any authorization app that you've always seen. It'll click on it, it'll go to the Drupal site. You grant it permissions, which is using OAuth, by the way. So that's part of the setup. I just didn't want to get too technical in all of this. And then it accepts it, and then boom, you're connected, right? So at that point, you can really just start prompting the MCP server. But I took it a step further because I'm like, what is the power behind this? Well, the power is that you could have that Claude desktop has access to all, or to local files that you allow it to. So the idea is that an editor, or even a developer, depending on what tools you want to expose, will have the power of local files. So you don't have to like upload all your files to Drupal. So some AI on inside of Drupal can grab the file and then have context. The context is already here and it's local. And so the idea behind that was that my thought was, okay, well, we could just build a little project locally where you can just start working with Claude or whatever AI, and you have all that information here. So I created this little the prompt post, and what it has in here is a Claude MD file, and then it has like a drafts folder, a kind of a workflow docs, and then what I thought was powerful is actually having a static version of the site locally. What this could do is, as we're starting to prompt and creating these articles, the users can actually load these up and view kind of a static version of it before they send that information onto the Drupal. So now, and then, so what you could do is, again, you can just start a chat once the MCP, or what I did was I created a project, because that's what Cowork is good at, is working on a project. All you have to do here is you click plus, and then you can use existing photo, or if you want to start from scratch or whatever. I already have one. So here's where we're going to just kind of start working on the fly here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start asking it and make sure that we're connected. Can you, so I'm asking it, make sure we're connected to the prompt MCP. Also, tell me what you know about the project prompt post. And I like to do this with AI just because I want to make sure we're on the same page here. So let's see what it does here. And again, there could be some errors, expect errors. Hopefully not. Okay, we're going to see the MCP connection, and we'll see if it's connected here. You on the MCP tool as well. Notice it's doing the site briefing. You can prompt on the MCP tool and like kind of tell it, like, once it connects, hey, here's what the site is, here's what's going on, just giving it more context. Alrighty, so we're connected as Sarah editor. That's one of the users. They can draft, but they can't publish. So that's exactly what I was hoping to see. And then it's, hey, about the prompt post. Hey, it's a satirical AI, blah, 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 right? The current state of the newsroom, 29 published pieces, the live front end. Okay, so now we're connected. And so now we can start thinking as an editor. I'm not an editor, I'm a developer. But let's just start talking to AI about what maybe our next article is, and then we'll try to publish it. We'll send it in a draft, and then we'll try to publish it and make sure that AI Drupal shuts it down, make sure you can't publish. I won't go through the process, but on the other side, just trust me that the approver can get on there and approve it and publish it, make it, it's permissions based. So, what ideas do you for a new article? The editor, the people that are actually doing this probably are going to be way better. But you're a developer here is working, so bear with me. So I'm trying to think. Let's see. It's kind of obviously it's thinking. Be like, hey, what kind of articles can we build here? And the big thing is you have the power of Opus 4.6 locally with the files and the context and everything. So here's a couple ideas. Um, Shopify AI shopping agents buy 400 identical white T-shirts for man who asked for a nice outfit. See, that one's actually pretty funny, and it gave me some ideas here. So I'm just gonna go with this because I'm sure some of them are pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna say let's go with number two and create it statically local so I can review it. And we'll limit this because I'm sure I'm gonna keep this demo brief. I just want to be able to see if it will create the file locally, and then I want to view it and then kind of see what it looks like. And it should understand. Okay, so it looks like it's progressing here. It's kind of creating. And what's interesting about this, I haven't tried it, but Claude on your phone, I have access to the MCP server. So in theory, you could this could work on the phone. All right. Oh, there's a little silence here while it's working. Apologize. So okay, here's while we're waiting on this, it's going to. It looks like it's about done, but you can actually also start a new conversation or a new task, and you can work within the prompt post project. You could actually you could also. All right, so here, let's see, we're still waiting here. You could probably fast forward this if you're watching this until it's finished. Um, Looks like it created some files. So actually, yeah, well, yeah, not quite what I wanted it to be, but I think this is because of the we're loading in here. So that's probably an improvement. So let's see. Let's go back to our. So it did create it. So let's load up here. Okay, so it looks better that way. That could be an improvement, kind of. Since it's a static file, we could probably have it a little bit better. So it created the article here, and so now let's send this draft, or let's send this article as a draft and then publish it as well. Now, hopefully, it's my work's done, And if it tries to send the article, and it should not be able to publish it. And we'll see what happens. It's now hitting the MCP server, and it should be creating the article. And yeah, it's interesting. So right here, draft and publish. We'll see. It should be able to draft it, but not publish it. Again, if you're following along, you might be able to just skip through as this is. Okay, here we go. So as it's doing the MCP tools as well, you have to allow it. You can do always allow. I'm just going to do always allow because I'll probably. But for security purposes, you might not always allow. You might just want to allow one time, that kind of stuff. Um, Looks like it had some issues with the schema, so it's kind of figuring it out. This is some of the stuff that is probably be beneficial with the prompt to be able to understand how to do it. So that's kind of the stuff that um, you know would probably be an enhancement if this was actually going to be used in real life. Um, so it's trying to figure out how to. Let's see. Hasn't quite been able to push it yet. Alrighty, so looks like it now. It kind of figured it out. Okay, so there it is. It is unpublished. So that's a very interesting because it problem solved, but we should give it more clear directions on how to create articles. So that's very interesting, kind of real time there. Now it shouldn't be able to publish it. Yep. See, it says okay. The article is created. Uh, yeah. So here's where it stands. Hey, it tried to do it, but it can't. So let's click on this. So we have okay. So it did. It created it. It looks like there was, here's some issues with it. It looks like, oh no, okay, so the HTML, okay, so it done a pretty good job. Okay, so I won't post that to where it'll show on there because, but I just wanted to, this is the proof of concept, right? So there's a lot of other stuff too. So there's one thing I tried earlier, so we're gonna try it out real quick, and then that'll be the end of the demo. Uh, and we'll see if it works like it did before. But um, let's. So I'm going to ask it basically to create kind of a snapshot of where we're at, build charts and graphs and stuff of like what content we have, categories and that kind of thing, and give me a chart to see it, right? And so it worked before, so we'll see how it goes this time. So I'm going to ask it, can you give me a snapshot of all the articles we have on the site, job postings, categories, and build a chart and graphs for me. My boss wants this ASAP. The fancier, the better. So we'll see what happens. So the editor in this fictitious world was running to a meeting. They needed to give their boss a rundown of what are we looking at here. Um, And so it's going to quickly try to build that for them. And another aspect of this, kind of digressing what it's doing, is so the developer can connect to this as well, or some of the admin, and you're looking at like logs. Hey, what is the site? What is the health of the site status? What is our logs? And just being able to do that kind of stuff here locally is pretty cool idea, and not really outside of this demo. But I was tinkering around, and that's is theoretically possible. Any kind of tool you expose inside the Drupal site is able to consume here in Claude and be able to do this. So it looks like it's building a little report here, and again, I apologize. AI is slow, so if you have to fast forward until you see a product, feel free to. It looks like it's actually, oh, it's going to build an Excel spreadsheet. Last time it built a actual, just a JSX file that you could view right here in here. So that's interesting that it now shows an Excel spreadsheet. I'm guessing it's because the way I asked it. So recap. Okay, we'll see how it goes here. Looks like it actually built it. Looks like it built it here. I'm gonna wait for it to be done. Alrighty, so let's see. It built it here. All right, so bam, look at that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Anyway, that is the end of the domain or demo. The end of the demo. Thank you for bearing with me. Again, this is kind of just on the fly, and but I really think that this could be a very cool tool. This is something that I think the Drupal ecosystem could actually use, and it could be a game changer for content editors or even developers. Anyway, thank you very much, and appreciate your time.